Whatnot. Unfortunately, I don't have a chat, so you should be skipping over to Whatnot no matter what, because I'm going to start that show right now. So we're going to start our show, and let me grab a couple things that I'm going to need. And I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay. I think I'm going to put these down here. All right, that sounds good, right? Uh-oh, I'm missing a couple things. I'm missing this, and I'm missing this. Hello, hello. Echo, echo, echo. Let me turn the sound off, please. So sorry. I have to leave. I'm here, but I'm not. Okay, hello. Hello. And I don't even think this one's public, so we can make that one public, but we'll wait. I know, we've gone live, right? So we're going to start a show. And as always, you're allowed to tip and you're allowed to shop. So we've got both options available, except on YouTube. Hello, Bobby 3D Resin Print. Hello, Margaritaville. Hello. And so you are behind the scenes. This is a demo that I'm simultaneously casting to YouTube. Please do me a favor. Go to YouTube. Let me make sure it's public and pull it up, because I need to make sure that I can do this consistently, where I'm on both platforms. So how do I do that? I might have to go in the other room, but if you can hear me, I am still here. So I'm going to show you how I ship out packages. That has been requested in the past. I'm happy to show you this demo because everybody has a different way of doing things. Now, there are a lot of videos on the site and on the internet. So my YouTube name is the same as all platforms. Stay home to shop, all one word, common spelling. And thank you for clarifying that. So stay home to shop. There's no stay at. Okay, so stay home to shop at, and that'll take you there wherever, whichever platform you're on. But I think I have to make this YouTube public. And it's really weird. This is me just kind of telling you my amateur skills. What I tried to do is like preset it up in the desktop, but I also was gonna, I mean, if it would work, I would have had a desktop camera where you'd actually literally be behind the scenes, but then it wouldn't activate the camera. So then I was like, okay, well, we're going back to plan A, which is just use my own device. The only problem with that is I can't show you screens. So the good news is I can show you them at the end, because we'll end the YouTube and then we'll actually just watch the YouTube videos together. I have it out, but you don't see me live. So let me fix that. And thank you, Margaritaville, because I needed that information. I don't know why in the world. How close are we? I guess we're pretty close, but I need to make sure it is public. I know that, and I'm still here. Great. Maybe YouTube Studio, and this is what happens when they have like different areas for basically the same functions. Okay, let's go to content. Let's go to lives. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna fix this maybe. And let's see. Okay, and here we go. I would do referral links too. So sorry. Gotta give Whatnot credit because that makes the magic happen. so we're gonna I save this and it's showing live, so I think I just need to go public. Public. Okay, let's give it a second to coordinate, and also let me verify sound is totally off. Okay. Uh-oh. Now we're okay. We should be good. We should be good. We should be good. Margaritaville or anyone, what is the title you're seeing on YouTube? Because that will tell me if it did actually activate the live. And YouTube is a little funny because sometimes I think with live streams, they only can start on 15-minute increments, whereas on Whatnot, I could start at 3:03, 3:07, different time zones. So thank you so much, by the way, for checking the quality. Everybody should bring up the YouTube live stream and stay on Whatnot. I'm not trying to get you to leave Whatnot. But this demonstration is just going to take you from step 1 to step 6 on how I ship out things. And you can watch this. You don't have to do it the way that I do it. But because I host the Ship Show, which is one of Whatnot's most popular seller support live streams, we've had sellers from all categories, even different countries come in. And they are helping us share ideas. And we are using Whatnot's discounted rates to give our customers the best deal, which means they have more money to shop. So the Ship Show is the place to be on Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's tomorrow this week. And then every other week, it's always the same time. The title is, yes, Margaritaville. Let's start a giveaway. No, actually, no, it's not. That's that. We're gonna start a giveaway because I gotta fix this. Are you able to see me on that one, or what does it look like? Oh no. Tell me what you can see. Like, pretend I can see your screen. Does it show like a big mess? Okay, so that's funny. Thank you again. Enter the giveaway, everybody, and share this with your friends because you know what? We all do things differently. And if there are best practices, the Naked Maple is probably going to be joining us on a future episode of the Ship Show. And yeah, Margaritaville. Okay, so entertain each other. I know the Naked Maple has trivia. So feel free to ask questions. I am going to do this and get this right. Okay, so now it should be public. Oh, I didn't save it. I did not save it. Okay, if this works, I'll cancel the other one, but it doesn't really matter. I wasn't gone very long, and you can catch the Ship Show tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, always. So let's give it a second to refresh for YouTube. I know you're a little slower than Whatnot is, but if we can get both lives, simultaneous, that means you'll be able to access this video again in the future. Whatnot has recently enhanced the platform by removing the past videos. So now we have more data available to provide you with live streaming. However, when we do seller support and tutorials, we kind of want to go back and reference things. And since there are 1 billion views a day on YouTube, and none of my Whatnot shipping videos ever have been suggested by YouTube, they've all been organically found by Whatnotters. I know there's probably at least 1 million people who could benefit from this. So it's hard for me to look at which camera, but I'm so glad we're over 3,000 people who found my last shipping tutorial. And I wasn't even talking to an audience. I was talking to like a blank wall, just trying to explain the pricing on Whatnot shipping. And if you've seen that, you know that we have lightweight, which is less than 1 pound. And that's shipped through Ground Advantage. We always use the post office, and that is so convenient. Between 1 and 5 pounds, we have Priority Mail at $9.21, which is an enhanced rate. We love that, but it's the lowest out there. So 1 to 5 pounds, we're going to go Priority Mail with the U.S. Post Office. And then when we go to 6 from 6 to 70 pounds. We're in heavyweight, and that can ship either Ground Advantage or Priority Mail based on how the seller has the show set up. So that's how we have our shipping options. So we can really customize it to make sure that we can get you the best deal. But when you're in that 1 to 5 zone, keep going and going until you get, your max, because again, that $9.21, you're not going to see that. If you walk up to the counter, you're actually going to see a price that's not exactly 3 times as much, but it's about 3 times as much. So let's quiz everybody again. Do we see a different live showing up on YouTube, please? Come on. I have not said a lot of mean things about Google or YouTube. But we can only be so nice to get this to work. So, and Whatnot's always been working. It's been so much fun. Now I am going to read out a comment. I wish more buyers would understand how much retail shipping costs at USPS. That the savings is incredible. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you one of the ways we could do that. I have a friend who has made hundreds of dollars selling tea sachets. I can't remember exactly which seller it was. However, I know my seller friend goes out and does like live shop with me videos. I would love to have my friend go to the post office and see what kind of service they provide, because when you're talking about Whatnot, you are getting 5-star first-class service because your sellers are doing all of the work for you. So you just have to wait for your package to arrive. But if somebody tells me who that friend is, I'll private message them. But super successful, so smart and funny. Can anybody see me on YouTube? Or are we keeping this a closed community? Because this week I've been investigating different ways I can, kind of spread the word about Whatnot. And it seems like we're kind of in our own little universe, our Whatnot Wonderland. And has anybody seen me on YouTube actually in real time? Oh, fantastic! The Naked Maple, you have won a giveaway item, which will include at least $1,000 in replica money, which I don't have the visual of, but I really kind of do. So a lot of this is sample stuff because I can't show you any private information. You know that if you show money on the screen, it actually has to be play money. I'm so sorry. I cannot show you my real $1,000 bill. But yeah, you'll get one of these, and you'll also get a place that you can make some notes. My giveaways are always tending to be fun or funny, and other sellers use a different strategy. They might want to, give away an iPad. So no one is seeing me on YouTube live because I have activated it. And please let me know when it comes up. We might have to wait for another 15 minutes. And okay, so hold on a second. Based on what I'm aware of, I thought $1,000 bills only were bank to bank. I thought maybe you could get 500 like in circulation, but you definitely want to make sure it is real. But I thought bank to bank were only 1,000, but they've changed those rules so many times, especially when we were doing a lot more cash transactions. I don't know. Exactly, and that's the one we're going to refer to because I always want you to have access to the official version, which is why after I do the explanation of Whatnot shipping, I give you Whatnot's version of it, so you have both. You have the way that I would explain the shipping, and then you have the actual screen by screen demonstration. Has anybody watched those? And there should also be a poll question up that I think you're supposed to pick one, but it's hard to know because I don't know what you're seeing. I know what I'm seeing, but technically it's a preview. So if you can't hear me, you can't see me, I don't have any way to know that. And I would love to know that somebody can actually see me with a $1,000 bill on YouTube. Can anybody do that? Can anybody see me with $1,000? And thank you, Bobby. Thank you for confirming. Okay, so this Naked Maple, One very similarly numbered, okay, is going to come your way. All right, so questions about shipping, put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. I will try to answer questions if it's the appropriate stage because we're going to go 1 through 6 step by step on how I ship out your items. And if I see your question, I will just let you know I saw the question, even if we're not going to answer it because it's maybe for a little bit later in the video. And Naked Maple's daughter collects coins, and that is appropriate because you are allowed to tip me. The way that you do that is you click the 3 little buttons off to the side, and one of the options is tip. You can go from $1 to $100. Whatnot has enhanced our platform by moving it there. So I think some buyers aren't aware of it because it used to be just off to the side and said tip. But if you would like to, show your gratitude at any point, you have that ability. That is a feature that I love about Whatnot. I'm going to mention a few of the added features because it's really helpful. And thank you, Margaritaville, for telling me you can see me. And get on that YouTube live stream. Now, there will be a little delay sometimes. However, you want to have both. It makes a lot of sense as I explain this because sometimes Whatnot will kind of hiccup and you don't want to miss anything, especially if you're in live auctions, especially if you're in a competitive bidding. You want to be able to see what's happening at all times. Make sure you got your YouTube live as well as your Whatnot live because it can get kind of crazy. We have 2-second auctions now. You can miss out on $1,000 bill. Basic supplies, everybody has some kind of scale. And the good news with Whatnot is that even if we don't hit it right exactly on the ounce, it's okay because we're going to guesstimate, which is why we have lightweight, less than 1 pound. 1 to 5 pounds is best rate, $9.21, and heavyweight starts at 6 pounds and goes all the way up to 70. And I will look occasionally at the YouTube, but I'm following the Whatnot comments, and not even to be rude, I thought I turned off the YouTube comments because YouTube is the whole universe. Whatnot is Whatnot. So if you're not part of Whatnot, get in on it. The way that you do that is you just go to the link in the description box and you'll get $15 to start your shopping journey. I am so excited. Does anybody else have any really, really good news that we should celebrate before we get into it? Has anybody had a really good day so far? I've been negotiating a sponsorship kind of deal, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. They want to be helpful to Whatnot sellers, no matter what your category is. So I love that. And because the ship show connects people from all different categories, as do my selling shows, yeah, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned because it's only going to make things easier for us. So when I ship with Whatnot, I follow the same process, but I want to clarify. When you've sold on different platforms in the past, those platforms, some of them go back to last century, but the idea is that you're going to do an order, then you're going to go to the next customer, then you're going to go to the next customer, and with Whatnot, we assume that you're going to have a lot of customers. We also assume because of the automatic bundling, which is an advantage on Whatnot and can be inconvenient on other platforms, we assume that the person may have more than one item. That's why you see people putting number stickers on different things or however they keep track of it. I happen to keep track of it the Stay Home Shop way is by clustering or grouping the same customer's items close together. But Leanne Phoenix will definitely tell you I will get some customers who go on a shopping spree and things literally start falling over. Has anybody been in one of those shows? I don't want to give away another one of your pins, but I want to give away something, especially since YouTube can see. That's one of the things we're allowed to do. That's an advantage. We can actually include items that the person didn't have to pay for, and on different platforms, that is not allowed. That is absolutely no. But with Whatnot, it's a little different, and so we do have the ability to give away things. Earlier, we had someone win a $1,000 replica. So we can have winners all afternoon. I want to keep this brief too when we get into it, because I want you to be able to reference the steps. When I re-edit things and I put it on YouTube, I will try to clean it up a little bit. Has anybody recently been to the YouTube channel? It's Stay Home to Shop, all one word, common spelling. I have tried to clean things up. The Whatnot videos are the popular videos. People love Whatnot from all over the world. And I'll tell you a little insider secret. I'm going to cover up YouTube. So people, because they're following me and they know that I'm the same me, whether I'm in Whatnot Wonderland or in the outside world, they have organically found these videos. And when that happens, when it's not one of your suggested videos, they don't have any demographics. They don't know the basic demographics of that audience, and that is unbelievable. So Whatnot definitely has a viewing audience. You may not know that. YouTube, you absolutely know that. You know that 1 billion hours, 1 billion hours every day, 1 billion hours is watched on YouTube. So we know that. But actually Whatnot does have a pretty powerful effect. So, spread the word, share it far and wide. Even as I was negotiating my business deal this morning, I was like, by the way, if you're not set up with Whatnot, you're going to use my link and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So now I'm going to show you exactly how I ship out my items, because they don't belong to me anymore. Once somebody bids and the auction is complete, because it says payment process, they own it. Now I have to get it to them. We do have a couple of business days, technically 2 business days. However, if I can get it out faster, it's only going to help me and it's only going to be better for them. What I've noticed over time is that customers would rather have fast than fancy, but I still do try to put some very basic things in the package so that they remember who they bought the item from. And again, the goal is to bring people back to Whatnot. So we always want to have repeat customers. And that's another reason why that link is so generous, because anybody who's sharing the word with their friends, you're giving them $15 to shop with, no matter who they spend it with. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, just like the video, I'm going to go into the other room, go to the Seller Hub, and I'm going to start to look at the shipments the way that they're auto bundled. This assumes we've already concluded the show, so I'm not selling anything more, and now I'm ready to start my shipping. I did that part last night for last night's show, even though I didn't do any more of it. And I want to make sure that I have kind of best guesstimate of what those weights are going to look like and where they're going to fall on the Whatnot shipping scale. If it's going to be lightweight, which is less than 1 pound, best rate between 1 and 5 pounds, or heavyweight between 6 and 70 pounds. Experienced sellers, you may not need to hear this. Newer sellers, you should understand the way that Whatnot's free adjustments work. Anywhere within the lightweight, if you're off a little bit, it's not a big deal, because you can just type in the correct number, and if it's 15 or less, it does not create a charge for you or your customer, and it doesn't take away a free adjustment. So you still have that range starting at 1 ounce all the way up to 15 ounces. I am going to keep looking for questions to let you know that I've seen them, because people have nuanced situations. So let's see. What are we going to do? You know what? Let's guess. So I've got the scale right here. It's not as accurate as Whatnot stuff, but it'll do. Okay, so we're going to go with this scale, set it 0 ounces. I'm going to look at the chat and see how much does somebody think that this weighs. This is just a basic shipping supply that I buy to package my orders. And I actually have another one, but let's focus on this. So in the chat, let's start a giveaway as soon as we start getting some guesses. How much does this weigh? Any guesses? Okay. Leanne put in a guess. Let's see some other guesses. Because, you know, sometimes I can't even count my $1,000 bills and I slip up and I give people 2 when they should have gotten 1. I don't know. I'm not promising that I'm going to make more mistakes. Okay, but we will do a giveaway. Let's see. We're going to run things. And that is one thing we don't do is we don't play games. We do activities during the show because we don't want anybody to get the impression that we are gambling. That's not what Whatnot is all about. It's all about having a fun time with our audience. So I see some 8-ounce guesses, and that's actually a really safe guess because it's right in the middle. So if you're over, you're right. If you're under, you're right, as long as we're not at a pound or more. So let's find out. We're going to find out. I can't even read. It broke the scale. Okay, what is it? 4.9 ounces. So you are correct. You are correct. In the postage world, we round up. So 8 ounces would accommodate a 4.9 ounces. We have packaging we'll put around it. So anybody who guessed 8 ounces, you are correct. That would be the appropriate way. But if you put 6 ounces or 5 ounces, they're still less than 1 pound. And that's not going to cause Whatnot any stress. We're allowed to adjust within the lightweight category, staying under 1 pound. Then once you go to best rate, which is $9.21 for priority mail, you get an even bigger adjustment range because sometimes we might think that a package is going to be 2 pounds when it really is 4 pounds or 3 pounds. It's a pretty big range. So just try to get as close as you can. And then above the 5 pound mark is really where you as a seller have to start to make your own decisions and explain to your audience the pricing. I really hope that you are aware. You do get that decision. Whatnot gets the first 2 classes. They have decided Ground Advantage, which is the lowest rate class for less than a pound. They have decided priority mail between 1 and 5 pounds. Those are non-negotiables. That's how Whatnot shipping works. Above 5 pounds, it's really the heavyweights that you'll choose between Ground Advantage or priority mail. I did not distinguish flat rate priority mail versus weighted priority mail because it's the same cost. So if you can get it into a flat rate package, it doesn't matter about the weight. However, if you can't get it into a priority flat rate package, you don't have to. Okay, now let's see. I am keeping track of, I don't think it's a question. Now Accutech is somebody who's probably going to just send me a free scale because this thing, I saw it so many times in like YouTube videos and everybody's like, oh, it's the one to get, it's the one to get. And it does show the weight clearly when I take a photograph. However, it moves all over the place, especially if I don't have it plugged in. So I'm turning that off. So we weighed this and we got it right. And even if you're wrong, you're right because you're less than a pound. So 8 ounces is always a safe guess. Now, I sell craft supplies, and sometimes craft supplies are 1 to 3 ounces. So really look at your weights. Best guess on what things are going to total up to. But at each interval, I don't bump it up. So if something weighs 4.1 ounces, I don't bump it up to 5 because then if they buy a 1 ounce item, we're now in heavyweight territory. And the way that the rounding works is less than a pound. It's 1/4 pound, which is 4 ounces, 1/2 pound, which is 8 ounces, 3/4 pounds, which is 12 ounces, and we stop at 15 because we can't be above 16, which would be 1 pound, until we get into priority mail. So ground advantage lightweight, priority mail is best rate. I love that. I love that about Whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to Seller Hub. I'm doing my best guess on the shipping labels because it's automatically bundled them. And after that, when I'm ready to start my shipping session, I will start to gather up my bundles and go from the easiest to the most difficult. And I have shipped some pretty interesting things. I see 2 people have entered the giveaway, so it's a 50-50 odds at this point. This is why when you're on YouTube, you want to come into Whatnot because you don't see the chat. The chat actually gets erased. It disappears after the show, but a lot of fun stuff happens in the chat. So do you guys know how to use the features on there? Freelance! I have not seen your name before, so you are new to Stay Home to Shop, at least as far as I'm aware. So welcome in. Okay, now step 1 is we're going to go to Seller Hub, make basic adjustments on our labels if we think we've got to move within a class or between classes. Lightweight, best rate, heavyweight. The next step is we're going to gather up our items and bundle them per customer, you know, who we're sending these to. I go from the easiest to the most difficult. The third part, and this is where I really hope you guys understood this in the video. I was trying to make this so clear. Actually, there's a follow-up. I will print the labels and packing slips because at that point, I'm locking in those measures. And if we have newer sellers, fantastic. Put as many questions as you want in the chat. I will try to answer them, and I'll let you know that I saw the question at least. If we have experienced sellers, put your questions in the chat because I'm not going to call out your names. But I recognize some, and you're very successful. So you've already mastered this stuff. You're just watching for the fun of it, and that's totally okay with me. All right, so we print the labels and packing slips, and then I'm actually going to start doing the shipping, and one bundle by one bundle, I'm going to pull the items into the office where I do my shipping, paperwork, all that stuff, and I have a camera set up. I always take a photo of what I'm sending out. I mean, even if it won't fit on the table, I'll find a way to get a photo. So I want to have the photo showing the item. Best practice is the item on the scale. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But item, weight, packing slip, and mailing label. I have caught myself many times mismatching mailing labels. And that's so easy to do because they all look alike, right? They're all the same format. So you really have to see the name and the address and compare that to the packing slip to make sure that I'm sending you the correct items. And I do see that somebody prefers thermal labels. I use paper labels. I'm doing this as just an example, so it doesn't really matter. Another thing is I always stamp things. So if you're wondering why I'm stamping so many times, it's really because I've gotten through this part of the process and I've double checked things. So if you see that I've stamped the packing slip, it's that I know I pulled every one of those items and it's going to go in your box and we'll get it to you safely. So this is a fake one because it's something I ordered. However, here's a pro tip. This is why you stick around. I print my packing slips on the back of this. Does anybody know where I got this? I print my packing slips on paper on the back of this page. Does anybody recognize where that comes from? And I'll try to hold it close enough to the camera. And all of this is public. It's already on the internet. If it's on the internet, it's on the internet. So people say not nice things, people say lots of nice things. So anybody know where this came from? Okay. I print this from the profile page on Whatnot. I just go to my profile and under reviews, I just print out customer feedback. I have a 5-star rating. I'm glad to have a 5-star rating. It doesn't guarantee that I'll do a perfect job, but this is what customers say. There is no incentive or, kickback for them to leave a review. They don't get a coupon, they don't get a deal, they don't get a free item. They on their own come up with the 5-star reviews. And so this, I think, reflects what the customers have experienced. And even if you're not at 5 stars, because when you start, you usually start a little higher than average, but you work your way up. You still want to let people know if you're getting good reviews. Okay, so Bunny's Treasures. Oh my goodness, I love my picture frame that he custom made for making my 1,000 sales goal. And it was a giveaway. He is so wonderful and awesome to watch. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, so much. I have it hanging on my wall and now it's perfect. Oh, keep going. So yeah, people say things that they want other people to know, and whether or not there was a giveaway, I still see 5 stars all across the board. So I will put that on the back of my packing slips. It does not guarantee I'll always have a 5-star rating. However, if you've watched my other video on YouTube where I've given you the secrets to 100% positive feedback from customers, I use a similar type of document, but that one I had to make. Whatnot has already made this for me. So I just print out the recent reviews. And I love that. Everything that Whatnot's doing that's giving us an advantage where we're able to sell more or do a better job for somebody, I'm pointing that out. So this is what I print out if I go to my reviews page. And always have your YouTube and your Whatnot running. You're probably going to do separate devices in case one of them runs out of juice. But you don't want to miss this stuff because, this could be the difference between a 4.9 and a 5-star review. You want to get 5 stars. You work hard. Let's see. So what step are we at? Because I'm going to have to kind of re-check. The first thing is I went to the Seller Hub and I just sort of guesstimated the shipping weights of the total orders as well as the packaging. Best guess. Is it lightweight, best rate, or heavyweight? Once I figure that out, we can go to bed. But if I'm going to keep going, I'm going to start gathering up those bundles. On the Seller Hub, you drop down the menu and it shows you line by line what they purchased. How many of you guys preload your items only because I want to make this video relevant to you? And preloading on Whatnot is super easy. You can do it on a spreadsheet or you can do it from past shows where you have a pretty good description of what the item is. Like this book, I found out during the auction that this is the estate of the artist. So this means this book is going to be rarer than somebody who's still publishing other books. As I go through it and I look and I'm like, it's imported from the United Kingdom. Okay, wow, that's terrific. What else did I notice? I think I noticed the price at some point. And usually you get pretty good deals on live auctions if you're paying attention and you start bidding. But I don't know if it gave me a price or on some of them it does. It doesn't give a price here, but I'm gonna guess it was more than $1 or $2. And if you only occasionally do your listings, sometimes you mix them. Like on the higher value stuff, maybe that's when you want to do a detailed listing. On the lesser value stuff, this is a book, but it has a little damage and it's not from an artist who's deceased. So this is not as rare. This is a very nice, rare copy of Baby Bird. If you guys want to cross compare and do your comparison shopping, go right ahead. That's another thing Whatnot makes it easy for us to, because you can just screenshot it and it'll tell you if it's selling for $30, $50, or $100. Okay, So I put the customer's name on the item. If it's something that's going to leave damage, I won't stick it on, but I just write on these blank labels. And so this is part of a larger bundle because we're at the step halfway through. We got there real fast. You guys are super sharp. Where we're going to gather up all the items, and now I'm going to start doing my final weight checks. So, like I said, one thing you can do during the show, and I got this from a seller who sells $3 million on Whatnot. I watch other people's shows, and he mentioned that you have to start the shipping process during the sales process, and he has a whole staff. So my process is I'll start to grab, shopping bags, gift bags. These are nice bags, but I don't mind if they tear because I want to keep the items together. So all of these items go with these two books. So basically, behind me, if we were seeing behind the scenes, this would be sitting on the floor together. And inside, I would have the customer's name again on something. And as far as the item count goes, that's where things get a little bit tricky, because if I showed you deleting any private information, if I showed you the packing slip and I showed you the items, you would get a different count. And that's because sometimes I'll sell in multiples. And last night's show was a really good example because it was a pile-up show. So if you missed it, you missed it. But as items were not being bid on, I added more, and then we saw some bids come on. So I did find the customer's label, so I know it's the correct one, but they're getting more items that are going to show up on the packing slip because they were sold as miniature lots. Whoops! They just fell down. This is why I only pulled one aside. I can't get this mixed up with any other. Hello, LV. So we're halfway through the demo on how I pack up items. Okay, so now we know that this is going to be best rate. I mean, that's pretty obvious to you guys, correct? That this is going to fall in the 1 to 5 pound range. It's not going to be less than a pound. And I'm holding this so I can feel it, but it's not going to be more than 5 pounds. So that's best rate. So we got it right. If I put 2 pounds in, 3 pounds in, 4 pounds in, it was all going to be the same price anyway. And I see that, that can present some challenges, Naked Maple. We'll talk more specifically about different scenarios because some of them come up. And actually, if you guys watch enough YouTube videos, you'll hear people's stories about shipping. And most often, that is the one reason people don't want to sell on any platform is the shipping, because it can really eat you alive. And so every week when I do the ship show, I really try to give you guys some good ideas where you don't have to overcharge for the shipping. However, we follow all of Whatnot's rules. We always follow Whatnot's rules. If you're ever concerned or confused, you just go on help.whatnot.com and you can find all their policies. Does anybody use Seller Academy? I am looking at the chat, so I'll know who's on the nice and naughty list. If you go to Seller Academy, you do not have access directly from YouTube. But if you go to Seller Academy, they do have their version of these tutorials, but they really don't get into this because this is a real life order. So I am holding somebody else's stuff. This belongs to them. And the good news is I have a box that I think is going to fit perfect in. This is where I'm going to pay a little bit more attention. It says mailing box. It says mailing box. It does not say flat rate. This says mailing box. If it says flat rate, my label needs to say the same thing. If it does not say flat rate, my label needs to say priority mail. If those two aren't lining up, do not keep going. Please. One of the easiest mistakes to make is putting a Ground Advantage label on a priority mail item. So that can really cause a lot of issues and inconvenience. Whatnot has already priced out the lowest prices for the customer. So yeah, we only use priority supplies with priority shipments. And would Whatnot? Okay, so that's a fantastic question. I saw a question come in about when we would use or not use flat rate. So this is not a flat rate box. Now the other thing, hi Kat. By default, you're usually a moderator because you've seen everything. But anyway, Kat's been watching my shows for a year. You've seen all the changes. And now I'm at the point where I negotiated a business deal to. This is going to help sellers, okay? It's not going to hurt Whatnot in any way. And yeah, we're doing a demonstration on an actual order. So we do view profile. Allow to moderate. Okay. If anybody else wants to moderate because you're experienced and you can quickly answer questions, just raise your hand. The items are going to get packed in here. Now, when I'm really, really doing this, not in front of a camera, this is kind of like where the TV magic comes in. I would probably want these, wrapped a little bit more than this, but not over wrapped. And these are silicone. You really can't break them. The only other thing is the books, especially that hardcover rare copy. I would probably put a plastic mailer bag around that. Or if you are using Priority Mail, you are allowed to use Priority Mail supplies. Do not put a flat rate envelope in here. But there is a non-flat rate Tyvek envelope that actually would probably fit this book. I have heard, on all the information I've seen, they don't care because in advanced situations, I have to Frankenbox things where I might have to combine two different size boxes. So use the Priority Mail boxes for the class they are intended for, but if I need to use a Tyvek protection envelope, that's what I would do if it's appropriate. And that all is going to fit in. So let me show you that it does fit. This isn't faking it, by the way. And you wanted me to repeat something? What did I need to repeat? Repeat myself. Don't misuse supplies, or do a better job packing this. You guys, when you come to my shows, if you see MacPack reselling, you definitely want to follow her and buy from her. And she does the best job of wrapping things so that they don't get damaged. She really does. But that would be basically packed up with the packing slip inside, and I put the label on. I do a final weight check, which let's find out if we're actually under 5 pounds or not, because if we're not, I'm going to have to basically go find an equivalent size box, but that's, again, something that we would do afterwards. Oh yeah, plenty of room to spare. Plenty of room to spare. I forgot to put a couple paper pieces in, but they don't really weigh that much. So we're still less than 5 pounds. So we hit the weight class exactly. So we get a perfect score. We get some gold stars. I'm going to give away something. And you guys are still allowed to give me tips because I'm not trying to sell you stuff. I'm trying to understand where I can help you the most. And I did put a tempered glass cutting board that I think you can use as a display piece, actually. So that's a really nice one. Now that would be something you want to wrap really well too. Okay, so we're running a giveaway, and get in there because you're guaranteed to win at least $1,000 as a replica. And oh yeah, Kat has been watching for a year and longer. My anniversary was like mid-January, so that's when I did my first shows. And my first shows, believe me, they were messy. But I still use the same system and I still use the same tools. Nothing changed in that time frame. So we're still going to Seller Hub to make our initial adjustments. I'm still using Whatnot's weight classes. Those didn't change. Lightweight, best rate, heavyweight. Still doing it all, just maybe understanding a little bit better how to do it and why we do it that way. And So after I have the box sealed, again, every step that I check, I'm using my stamp. So if I stamp the label, it means I've definitely checked that it matches the packing slip. Um, because again, that would be a really easy switcheroo if you're doing multiple similar shipments. And that is Whatnot. You know, we are going to get this out fast. So it would be easy to put the wrong label on the wrong box. So if you see my stamp, that means I've compared the label to the packing slip. If you see my stamp on the packing slip, then that means I've compared it to the actual items. And we're pretty much done with this. I'm just trying to make sure you guys understand why I'm doing it, to keep all these items together. And we recheck the weight, and we would seal it. It's a seal, yeah, seal with the label. So that's that. That is a shipment. That probably takes. I probably could have done, you know, these shipments from the show in the time that it that I explain that, because it takes me about 3 times as long if I'm explaining something while I do it than if I just do it. And that is the reason why you want to watch all of my YouTube videos, because if they are edited, I have definitely cut out the parts you don't need to see. You can watch the Whatnot playlist 24 hours on repeat. It'll always include updates to the videos. As I'm able to do, you know, multi videos, that's even better. And this all came about because Whatnot used to give us 60 days for our shows to stay up and active. So if somebody wanted to watch something, or, you know, whatever, some people enjoy watching, totally fine. However, now we have enhanced the platform, so the videos from shows are going to show up on YouTube. And also, this tutorial will show up on YouTube because that's where it goes. So let's see what questions I skipped over, because we have no entries in the giveaway. So everybody's like, dude, you gave us what we needed, and I am rocking in a free world. So if you have a thermal printer, go ahead and thermal print. Now, I would suggest, even if you have a thermal printer, doing the paper packing slip, because you can use the back for whatever you need to or whatever you want. You are allowed to put sales flyers and marketing flyers for Whatnot with your items. I didn't want to overload you, but I have so many good examples, and I'll show you some of those. And let's see. Okay, now if you're out in the wild, you're not going to be able to sort necessarily until afterwards, and video receipts are essential. Now, sellers get the full unedited show, but customers, you're only going to get about a minute when we're holding your item. So you'll see what you purchased through the video receipt that way. Sometimes they don't align, and I explained my theory last night, like play the X-Files music. My theory is because everything has to synchronize to the auction clock, which is accurate to the nanosecond. So sometimes in video live streams where it kind of like lags a little bit and then it jumps ahead, I understand that we are synchronized exactly to the nanosecond, so it doesn't freak me out. And I understand sometimes it means my phone is going to crash, so that's why we have YouTube. And sometimes it means that I left the YouTube chat on. I don't know. I saw some things come in on YouTube. So what else did you guys want to talk about? Because I saw something about a difference between flat rate boxes, and that's totally fine. Now, let me, it's like I have to show you my shipping settings, but in some of the videos I show you that. And you had some stickers that customized, so absolutely allowed to shop customized items off Whatnot. If it's not ready to sell, you can buy it wherever you want. And it seems like they came out nice. So send me some information about that, and maybe I can show those off in the ship show, or just keep the information to myself. Now, Whatnot's gonna follow your lead when it comes to heavyweight class. So in your shipping settings, and this you can watch the shipping tutorial videos, and I show you the actual screen. When it says like after priority mail for 1 to 5, when it gives you some options there, it's going to give you ground advantage, priority mail, and I know that it will also give you quote unquote flat rate. You set up your shows where it works best for you. But if somebody's getting over 5 pounds, that's less and less likely to fit into a flat rate. So I wouldn't necessarily assume that. I usually assume ground advantage. Now, some sellers are different. I've had clothing sellers tell me exactly how many dresses and tops and bottoms they can fit inside of a flat rate box. So if that's the case, they may set the overweight at flat rate, and that's fine. Any of the options that they give us are fine. But as a seller on the back side, if this weighed 7 pounds, if I could find a similar size flat rate box that it would work in before I had done everything I just explained, because we would have already done our pre-weight, I could switch it over to a flat rate. This would be called a flat rate medium side load, a similar size. And I don't know if I can do that or not. Are you guys patient? Because you didn't enter the giveaway. So if you got things to do, you got things to do. But if you want, I can try to challenge myself and try to squeeze it into a side load box, because I'm going to tell you they are slightly different, but sometimes you can. I've been able to fit 17 pounds of books in a large flat rate box, which is 12 by 12 by 6. And you're able to order a 12 by 12 by 8 that is a weighted package. So if it does not say flat rate, it does not get a flat rate label. If it does not say priority mail, it does not get a priority mail label. If it says ground advantage, you find your own packaging for ground advantage. Whatnot does not require us to use branded packaging. And I love that, because it gives you the opportunity to better serve your customer and market to your customer and set yourself apart. I'm going to reach for examples. So that's a good thing. And also, anytime you put a corporate label on anything, even a piece of tissue paper, it really starts to add to the price. I could show you some logo tissue paper, and it's 16 cents per sheet when I bought it a year ago. If I go to the dollar store, that's not even $1, it's going to come down to about 2 pennies per sheet. So I love the fact that Whatnot isn't making us put their logo on the boxes, but that's also why you want to put your logo on the boxes, because you want the customer to know what they're getting. And if you do a good job, they're going to remember you. So they're more likely to leave a 5-star review. None of these were paid. These were not arm twists. People really wanted to say these things. So I hope that's enough about flat rate. But flat rate, the biggest size stops at 12 by 12 by 6. The other question that I sometimes will hear is, on the measurements, do I have to go in and change them? Because it's always showing 12 by 12 by 12. And the answer is, the way we just did things, no. Because every package that the post office gives us to use with priority mail is less than 1 cubic foot. And that is the same as 12 by 12 by 12. So I don't have to go and type in these numbers of the exact dimensions. They already know that. They actually are going to know it as soon as it gets scanned on that barcode. So I don't have to type those in. It doesn't save you or Whatnot any money or time. It doesn't get the customer a better anything. Now, when you do need to do that is when it's bigger than 1 cubic foot. And actually, if I Frankenbox things, so if I have to like put two of these together, wrap them with packing tape, I need to remeasure and verify that I'm not more than a cubic foot. If I am more than a cubic foot, that will create a slight overcharge that will cause a deduction. You do get 5 free deductions. I think everybody's good because they're all they're all gonna scoot. But I'm gonna show you. I'll just start another giveaway just in case somebody's lingering because sometimes these counts are not accurate. So let's do that. The other question that I sometimes hear is we're talking about size. And where is it? Oh, option start. Okay. Start the giveaway. So yes, the post office packaging is all going to be less than a cubic foot unaltered. And but make sure you guys get in the giveaway and put in any final questions, comments, concerns. We got through this packing example in record time, and I will eventually get that version edited up onto YouTube because that's where videos now go. Past videos or past shows won't be under my profile tab. Whatnot has enhanced the platform and simplified it, so you just go to my YouTube channel, same name, same exact spelling. And somebody needs to remind me what I was going to say. Like, what was I talking about before I started the giveaway? I was talking about remeasuring things, and then, you know, if you go over, oh, the free allowances. This is the part people should have heard. So we talked about, oh my gosh, early on, we talked about the fact that many times we don't need to use, thank you, Kat, for reminding me about the shipping prices. We don't need to use our 5 free adjustments per week because if we're adjusting within the lightweight class, we're still lightweight. If we're adjusting in the 1 to 5 pounds, we're still best rate. And if we're adjusting above that, we might see some different shipping prices. So most of the adjustments, they never get used because it's just correcting the weight. But if you need to go more than 5 pounds above what you guesstimated, then you can go up to 5 pounds more than you guesstimated and use a free adjustment, and Whatnot will pay the extra charge the first 5 times you do that per week. Now, some of the free adjustment allowance actually does not get used, and that's okay, but some of it gets used when it didn't need to be, and then people are unhappy, both customer and seller. When I talked about this example, and it came out at less than 5 pounds, way less than 5 pounds. It was like 3 and some change. If I had run all of my labels without making any edits, I wouldn't have that flat rate option to switch to because it would just go with the estimated weight. And it wouldn't give me the allowance to make it a flat rate medium side loading box. So, please don't run your labels before you actually have done your pre-measurements, because any changes you're going to be doing after that, even if it was within the allowed class, there's no difference in price between flat rate and 1 to 5. Even if it was going to be the same price, it's now going to eat up a free adjustment. Also, when we start to pull shipments apart, usually to better protect and ship the items, that's going to create a adjustment. So that is something that's a little more nuanced, and it didn't come up in the question, so we don't even need to go there. But you can use your free allowance for that. So anything that's going to create a slight overcharge, you can use your free adjustment for, but please don't use them unknowingly or unnecessarily just because you printed the labels instantly after the show. I heard that from an experienced seller, and I can see how that would happen. Uh, so that's exciting. So let's go ahead and draw the giveaway. Last call for questions. And bake shop sales. So you'll get at least $1,000 replica. And you'll actually get to see how I mail out the envelopes. Nobody asks in this show. In other shows, everybody asks about the envelope that you can ship for the price of a postage stamp. Basically, it has to be flat, and it has to weigh less than, we say 3 ounces. That's where we stop. So less than 3 ounces, but really an ounce. So basically, standard letter mail is what that is. So it's different. First class mail is different than package pricing. And so if you put something in and you make it like 4 ounces, then it's going to switch over. Usually it's too thick because somebody is trying to, like, this is more than a 1/4 inch. This is way more than 1 ounce. But they're trying to slip something in like an eyebrow pencil or something, but it's going to create that height. And one of two things is going to happen. The best case scenario is the customer is going to be told that they have to pay some extra postage, or ideally, the post office is just going to adjust Whatnot's charge because they have the authority to do so. Any of our mistakes that we don't catch, they have the authority to go in and adjust Whatnot's bill. But again, YouTube gets billions of views. Whatnot gets millions of views. These are a lot of shipments going out. So best case scenario, best case is it just gets billed over to Whatnot. And there will probably be a $4 price difference there, maybe. So that would be the best. Other best one is the customer gets notified and told they have to pay, because Whatnot will refund that amount if the customer submits a request quickly and shows a full receipt. Worst case scenario is it jams up in the equipment and the local post office staff knows about it. So if you try to put too much into a envelope, like cards, can I ship for you? You know what? You don't even have to ask because you sell money. So yes, I can come ship for you. I can come ship for you anywhere you want to go. But let me show you guys some examples, because I know we went through the whole demonstration. You will have a replay on YouTube. I want to make it use of your time. This was super cute. A newer seller actually packed up a box and sent me she sent me some really nice handmade items, and I purchased like a heart-shaped handmade tray. However, she included a whole other item, and that is lovely and appreciated, but totally unnecessary. Giveaway things, typically you want to sell your product. You don't want to give away your product, especially if you're hand making everything. So it was like overly generous, but she had it wrapped in this, and then she had a little bit, I don't know if it was lavender or rosemary, and she had an embossed seal. So again, this is somebody who's really trying to make a good impression and be memorable, because we don't have to use a Whatnot logo. That's awesome. So that was a very nice, let me see if I can remember who that was. This is one tip I would say, period, no matter who, where, how. Put your name on the box. Just put your user account name so that people know who it's coming from. And this has a business name, so very smart seller. They've already started to set up their business separate from personal. So I don't recall the seller's name, but I did an unboxing. Not every video that used to be available will get moved over to YouTube, but as much as applicable will be there. Quality versus quantity. Well, welcome in. Perfect timing. You are hilarious. Yeah, Yeah, put your name on it. And I'm the kind of person, I don't know, maybe it's just because I like to stamp stuff, but I mentioned earlier in the demo that every time I move through one step of the process, I'm gonna stamp to verify that I actually did it. So this means that I have found all of these items and verified that that's what's going to go into the box. And then at the bottom of the shipping label, which this is a sample, it's totally a sample, it's not going to work because it's thermal, but I would stamp the bottom of my paper labels. So I use paper. Other sellers, they have their own system. So other sellers, I've seen like a little check at the corner of the shipping label, which means they've done a final weight and everything. So it doesn't have to be a stamp, but yeah, for your own purpose and marketing, absolutely put your name all over that box. You are 100%. You want to watch on YouTube while you're on Whatnot, always simultaneously. If I'm running a live show, you want to have both open, because if something causes one to crash, we still keep things moving. That happened to us last night. The good news is most of my most embarrassing moments are at times where not a lot of people are watching. But last night I had we had a really fun time, and I think I had to like leave and come back. That's usually going to fix things. Do you want to co-host for a second? Actually, anybody, I'll throw that out. But I had a co-host come in. Sometimes people ask, can I advertise my show on your show or whatever? Nobody said this, but there's a button off to the side, that little slash button. You can send a secret message. So only I think moderators can see it. You can also use naughty words. Not all of them will do this, but some of them will do this. You can use unallowed words in a comment, and it'll redline it, and it won't show it to everyone. However, okay, so we will get a co-host who's going to be quality versus quantity. Do you need any time to prepare? Because I can keep going and showing examples. But yeah, so the funny thing was, red lines, those don't count against you on your permanent record. It's just that they don't want everybody to see that. So, and eventually, if you got somebody really obnoxious, putting a lot of naughty words just to be rude, you remove them from the show. That's pretty easy to do. Okay, so in order to bring you on as co-host, I'm going to click on your icon off to the side here. I'm explaining every step of the way. And one of the options is invite to co-host. And as soon as quality versus quantity comes in, we will see.
Hi.
Good to see you in real life, kind of. I've seen you.
Right now, so I'm sorry if the view is not all of that.
Yeah.
The lighting.
Yeah, we're fine. And this is a fun way to test out features. And so one of the features is, like right now, I have you underneath me up at the top. If I want to be able to see you better, I'm going to go ahead and click the swap arrows. So the chat will go over my face, and I'll be able to see you better. Also, if people in the chat are just chatting too much, I'll just swipe the chat off to the side. But sometimes moderators can just answer questions directly. I don't know why it's not doing that. Who knows? Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. So you did a beautiful job. I hope when is your next show?
So my next show is sometime next week, but I'm going to schedule one probably for this weekend. I just had a show today. No one was there, but I had some great conversations. Like a couple people came in the room. I had some great conversations, just explaining what I do and like the materials that I use. And I just, whenever I have a show and like nobody's coming in, I'll just say, no pressure to buy anything. I just want you to get to know me and understand what I do and come back.
Okay.
So watching, people like you and Gem Deals, a Reworker's Passion, Leslie, I watch you guys and I'm like studying you. And one of the tips that you gave me about the box, like, okay, I have to write my username on the box somewhere so that someone could like recognize it. So I've been doing that since you told me that. So thank you for the tip.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I said to seller, Leslie, a seller's reworker's passion. She actually got one of my packages too, and opened it up and showed people, and then had my name on it. So she was able to call out my name immediately.
Yeah.
So thanks to you for that.
No, thank you. Thank you for trying it out. You know, I don't want to tell anybody how to run their business. However, I tell people what I've found works the best in my experience. So at least you've got a way to try it. And if it doesn't work, I don't tell people to try it because it's just a waste of time and money.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah, and actually, when I sent my first e-commerce orders out, I wanted the logo to be visible on 3 different places on the packaging, and I found out it does not make any difference. It only has to be in one place.
Okay. Save money on labels and stuff.
Yeah. And that's what I was doing. I was putting like little seal labels over like the backside. No, it didn't help. It didn't get better reviews. It didn't get better feedback. Have you seen the YouTube video on 100%? Have you seen that one?
Feedback?
Okay.
I watched that.
Okay. That, and especially for you and anyone selling handmade, that would be a really good format for you to show off some of your past creations. I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to put the price. You don't have to put the price. You just a 9 square grid and put your name in the middle and put all around it, you know, the items that you've sold and, you know, a nice comment from a customer. And you can go back and like screenshot exactly what it looks like. I haven't used that since I started on Whatnot. I mean, Whatnot is super easy for what I'm doing because on one side it's got all the items the person bought, and now it's got all the nice things people had to say about me. And by luck, I didn't intentionally take the photo this way. This is just the way it cropped. But it's like I'm looking at you, so I know if you did not leave a 5-star review.
I'm getting to it.
Yeah. Free items. I want to tell you something. I love your generosity and what free items have done for me. Unexpected free items. In the past, if I've put like a little mint in an Easter egg with just a tiny card that says for you, on the back it says 5-star valued customer, that has gotten double the regular feedback rate, and it's all going to be 5-star positive reviews. So I tested that out on a different platform. I called there. They used to host a podcast and asked, you know, am I getting the right rate of feedback? And they said it's about double what you should expect. So, so those worked for me. Now, what you do, you might want to find a different item, but the important thing is try to.
Definitely a one-off. Yeah, that was definitely a one-off, and because of the material that I use, I try to do 0 waste.
Yeah.
So when I have like leftover material, I'll like make smaller items, and then I figured I can use that as my like giveaways or like thank yous for people. I can't monetize it, so I am like selling those items too because they're still good items, but they don't really hurt me as much because I know I'm eliminating waste that way.
Yeah, you're thinking about material costs, and I get it. But I'm thinking about pennies. If you can get something for 2 pennies, that is the perfect giveaway. That's as low as I've ever been able to get.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But another thing you can test out is, I'm going to end the YouTube because this is a little bit of shop talk that I don't know the rest of the universe needs. But I'll edit it so we can actually. Whatnot wants us to sell. They want us to succeed. They are not trying to make